All right, so I just got back from seeing The Flash. And yeah, this is the latest movie from Warner Brothers DC. It is based on the Flashpoint comic book. And, like they could never do the comic the way it is because not enough of the DCEU has been established to do Flashpoint. Marvel runs like Disney Marvel, they run the same problem where they decided to start their stories in like the mid 90s at the earliest, so they don't have that much material to work with. And a lot of the characters that are in a story like Flashpoint, they haven't been established in the DCEU, so they could never really be in there anyway because there'd be too much explaining going on of who they are and what their powers are, blah blah blah, and all that. And yeah, like in this movie, Ezra is annoying. Ezra Miller is really annoying, and it's kind of hard to forget all the shenanigans he got up to in the lead up to this movie. Especially, there's a couple of times where his Flash character has to move really quickly to get near some children, and you can't help but make a few jokes in your head, or maybe that's just me. Like Ezra Flash is a sidekick character; he's not a lead character, definitely not. And yeah, so he kind of lets the movie down, but the other characters they kind of yeah, they kinda make up for it. Like, Batfleck in this movie, Ben Affleck's Batman is great. I mean, in his limited, screen time, he's maybe about, like, because he even said, Ben Affleck even said it was, he's only in the movie for about 5 minutes, and yeah, it is about 5 minutes, but it's great, like, to see him, like, his Batman just being Batman and stopping some criminals and stuff like that. That was, like, awesome, and then you get back to Ezra Miller again, and the jokes in like the first act, there's just too many jokes, and they take away from the seriousness of the fact that these people are heroes. And you know, all the superhero movies of late fall into this thing where they're heroes, they're funny books, so we got to be a bit goofy. And it's like, yeah, every now and again that's okay, but when it's just goofy, 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 silly, silly, goofy, silly, goofy, like you're just being like pelted with jokes, it kind of makes it hard to take the character serious like later on in the movie when like, things are meant to get serious because they've just been so jokey for so long. And like the two I will say this though, the two Ezra Millers on screen, they looked and interacted like two separate people. Like, yeah, it doesn't look clunky at all. They actually must have spent a fair bit of time and effort on this one, on this part of the movie. I mean, it's much better than like, excuse like yeah, it's much better than like when this idea of having two of the same person on screen started out in a movie like Multiplicity. I mean, it has come leaps and bounds from then. And so that part of it was, actually cool to watch because yeah, it looked good. Oh, speaking of Multiplicity, this movie is like meh until you get to Michael Keaton and his Batman, the Tim Burton Batman. I mean, Keaton is the goat. He is great in this movie. I mean, he should have been playing Thomas Wayne like in the book instead of a different version of Bruce Wayne because the Thomas Wayne Batman is a great character and there's no reason why like when you see this movie, there's no reason why they couldn't have done that. They just wanted to use Tim Burton's Batman really badly, and I get that, but you could have made Thomas Wayne's Batman look everything like, you know, make it oh god, sorry, keep coughing. Yeah, make him everything look like Michael Keaton's Batman. They could have had, just made him Thomas Wayne instead. I mean, they've already made him a completely different looking Batman from, Ben Affleck. So why not just make him, Ben Affleck's father instead? But they didn't. And that kind of annoyed me with it because there was really no reason why they couldn't have done that. And, it's kind of weird seeing a man of Keaton's age like jump around and like kick, doing spin kicks and that. And, it's obviously like, a stunt double and, some parts are clearly CGI. And speaking of the CGI though, in the multiverse time portal, like the Flashpoint, whatever they call it, yeah, where Ezra Miller is like kind of choosing where he can jump in while going back in time. And it's showing off like it's kind of hard to explain, but they're showing off like all these different universes and different things happening, and the CGI is not good. It's they're showing these alternative timelines and different things that could happen because of changing different things and all that. And it comes across like showing it visually this way and having like these events pop up. It was a last minute decision because this yeah yeah if you watch the movie you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes up because there it looks like a cutscene from a video game. It does not look realistic at all, and it's weird to have like real person Ezra Miller, and then around him are all these clearly computer generated people that they don't look real enough for that to work at all. It's actually quite jarring how bad the CGI is in this one part. Like a lot of it's really good, but yeah, like I said, it comes across like this was like a last minute thing that they decided to do. But anyway, he goes into this alternate universe, and instead of Superman being in this one, it's Supergirl, and the woman they got to play, Sasha Calais, or not sure how to pronounce that. She's great as she's great as Supergirl. Like she when she's in the suit and that, she looks the part. It's a little bit different than other ones, but yeah, she looks great. Yeah, they changed her hair. She doesn't have blonde hair anymore. But Batman is completely different in this universe, so that's kind of just whatever. I mean, personally, I think they should have left her hair long though, instead of cutting it short the way they did. But at least it wasn't the full on SJW side of the head shaved or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. Women look better with longer hair. What can I say? Oh, also, they didn't girl boss her. She's a flawed character. She's not like, they don't find her and she's like, she isn't like 10 times better than like, Henry Cavill's Superman ever was or anything like that. Like, she is a flawed person and that. So that was good that they didn't go full feminist with her. And, and the 2.5 hour runtime is a bit much and would have been better if they just led up to if the whole like lead up, sorry, to the multiverse was cut down. And then from there, getting to Michael Keaton's Batman, if that was cut right down and a lot quicker with less of this, like, teaching of the quirky other Ezra Miller and, just going through all their like, silly little jokes together of, two Barry Allens, woohoo, hijinks ensue, stuff like that. But I mean, you compare this movie to like Man of Steel, Justice League, Batman or Batman versus Superman, Justice League. Like the Flash movie is by far the best. But, that's not saying a lot in my opinion because I didn't particularly like any of those other movies. If you like cameos and Easter eggs, this movie has them in spades. Uh, you know, I don't want to give too much away. I don't want to spoil anything in this, but yeah, you get to see a lot of different versions of, say, like a Superman and a few different Batmans thrown in, and even a different Flash and stuff like that. And yeah, it's great. It's like full of member berries, and you're like, oh, I know that one. Oh, I know that one. You know, the recreation of the Tim Burton Wayne Manor was great. Like they went down to like real detail on that. It was yeah, actually surprising how much effort they genuinely put into that. And yeah, you actually get the fact that you are meeting up with the Batman of the, 89, all these decades later, and like, he's an old man just wandering around Wayne Manor on his own because obviously, by this point Alfred's just passed on. Like, he'd have to be in his hundreds or something like that if he hadn't. And yeah, that all looks really great. It's great member berries. And, yeah, again, like I said, fucking Keaton is the GOAT in this movie. He makes this movie like good to watch. And when you get to the end of the movie, the other big bad is way better done in the books. What they did here with this, yeah, because I think you know from the trailers that that Zod is kind of the bad guy. It's Zod coming back in this different universe, or not coming back, coming to Earth, in this different universe, but there is another bad guy thrown in there as well. And yeah, like I said, Flashpoint, the book, did it way better. The ending of the movie has a great cameo. I'll say that. I'm not gonna lie. It got a chuckle out of me. I did smile and laugh a little bit when I saw this one last cameo at the end. And oh, actually, there's a post credit scene, and it's just more silly. That's all it is. It's quite frankly not even worth waiting for. It doesn't tell you anything new. It just kind of shows you two characters interacting, you know, but they're not being superheroes. They're just interacting like two people. Now, all in all, the movie is good, and that's a shame because if Warner had made this kind of movie after like Man of Steel, if they'd done something like this and gone this direction, it may have saved the DCEU from needing a complete reboot. I mean, if only they could run back in time and run fast enough that they could travel back in time and course correct. But as the movie shows us, you can't stop fate. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to catch me podcasting and gaming, follow me, Adam Sage, on Rumble. Boys.